I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. Overall, the crypto space and crypto and NFT space has been pretty rough recently. If you've been in the space for a while, there's a pretty good chance that you're probably making some losses. Or if you're new to the space, you may be thinking, is there any point investing in crypto? Is it all just dead now? Is it going to recover? When it's going to recover? And so on. Basically, we are currently in a crypto bear market. We'll likely stay in the bear market for quite a while, which is not exactly what most of us expected last year or even early this year. And I guess for a lot of people, it's quite challenging because, like I said, they either made some losses or they're not sure whether it's worth entering this space. But what I think is really important is acknowledging that actually, while bear markets are not much fun, especially if you're already invested and your portfolio is down, but actually they present some of the best opportunities, in fact, the best opportunities for making money in a slightly longer term. A lot of people enter this space when everything is pumping. Let's say in, 2018, 2019, not many people were entering crypto because it just crashed from the highs of late 2017. However, those who did and those who continued being engaged in the space throughout 2018, 19, and 2020, then were in by far the best position when the crypto started going up in late 2020 and early 2021. Those, however, who lose interest or decide to not engage with crypto at all during bear market, if they're already interested at least a little bit and they think about doing something with crypto, then the high likelihood is that they will re-enter the market when everything starts pumping. Essentially, they will miss out on the biggest opportunities in this space. So what I want to talk about in this video is essentially how to navigate the bear market, how to prepare for the next few months, how to take the advantage of this time, and essentially how to put yourself in the best possible position when the market actually turns. So I'll very briefly mention the current market situation because I covered it in a lot of detail in the last couple of videos. And to be honest, not much really changed since then. But I will mention very briefly where we are. But the main focus of this video will be essentially my strategy for the coming weeks and months. And also just not necessarily looking at specific projects, although I will mention a few projects as examples, but more about like broader strategy and essentially how to take advantage of this time, how to utilize this time, and how to put yourself in a really good position for the next bull run. As always, if you like those videos, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Please feel free to check out my private Discord. And also, if you're completely new to crypto, soon I will be launching my course, which will be covering absolutely everything from crypto basics to quite advanced stuff. And there will be more information about that in the videos coming soon. So in terms of the current market situation, like I said, I don't really want to talk about it too much today. If you look at the last couple of weeks or so, Bitcoin still keeps just trending around $30,000. Not much really is changing here, so there isn't really that much to say. Other than the fact that if you look at the altcoins, you may observe that although Bitcoin is not really changing its price, although you could argue that there is a very slight downtrend, altcoins, a lot of the altcoins are actually bleeding quite a bit against Bitcoin, which just shows that in times like this, it's best to be either cash heavy, or if you are in crypto, essentially it makes sense to invest mainly in Bitcoin rather than altcoins, because although prices of altcoins may be very tempting at the moment, the biggest risk is that even if Bitcoin just keeps trending sideways rather than going down, altcoins will probably carry on bleeding against Bitcoin and against dollar. There are, however, some positive signs, If we look at Nasdaq, that actually started moving up towards the end of last week. And it will be interesting to see where it goes this coming week. If this uptrend continues, this could mean a bit of a relief rally for crypto. On the other hand, if you look at the XY, US dollar, that's been actually in a downtrend for a while. If we zoom out slightly, we can see that it's actually quite a significant drop. And again, whenever dollar goes down, it may potentially mean that crypto will start going up. So if this downtrend also continues, then again, that may mean that there will be a bit of a relief rally for crypto as an asset class overall. In any case, I don't expect this to suddenly change it to a bull market. If anything, it just means that, I don't know, Bitcoin may hit like 35K or so, as I said many times before on this channel in the last couple of weeks. And then I still expect that we will go down lower. So please do not confuse any short-term relief rally with the beginning of a bull market. I think we are still quite far away from that point. But at the same time, I do expect and hope that crypto may start going up a bit in June, even if it's going to be very short-lived, but I expect it to happen. If it does happen, I will be taking advantage of this situation, and I'm hoping to do a bit of swing trading. If it happens, I'll be talking about it more, but like I said, this isn't really the point of this video. What I wanted to focus in this video is what projects I'm looking at and essentially what's my strategy in those coming weeks and months. I've said it a couple of times before on this channel that at the moment, essentially the best strategy is just stacking cash. If you're investing in Bitcoin, if you want to invest in crypto, then stacking Bitcoin at the moment, of course, is not a bad idea. You could potentially look at ETH or a couple of other top 10 altcoins, but reality is that they will probably still bleed against Bitcoin. If not against US dollar, then most likely they will bleed against Bitcoin. So there is a very strong argument that if you are buying any crypto, it should be Bitcoin at the moment. If you look at the list of gaming alts I've been tracking for a while, the prices are generally down, of course, and I expect them to continue going down. I have no intention in putting any more money in any of those projects at the moment. Of course, I'm still bullish on them long term, but reality is that I don't know how long this bear market is going to be, and I don't know how well those projects will handle that bear market. My guess is that because majority of those projects only appeared in the last bull market, so essentially in 2021, what I expect to happen is what happened with many altcoins in the previous market cycle. So basically, if we look at this cycle here in 2017, 2018, a lot of altcoins only started coming out during this period of time. And they had a peak of some sort, very similar to how the Bitcoin's price action is. You have a small peak here. Then, of course, they went down to some really, really low valuations. But then actually a lot of them picked up back to their former all-time highs and sometimes even new all-time highs during the last year's bull market run. And I hope that this will happen with a lot of those projects on my list. Essentially, they will go down very, very low during the bear market, but I hope that most, if not all of them, will pick back up and hopefully much higher during the next bull run. The risk, of course, is that, especially with smaller projects, they may not necessarily recover. And of course, there's also another element that if as the bear market continues, the prices will keep going down. So there's no point adding more to my position right now. If anything, when the market bottoms out, that's when I may consider adding a little bit more to essentially lower my average purchase price and then put myself in a better position for the next bull run. But at the moment, putting money in any of those projects is way too risky. There is one exception, and that's ApeCoin. And I'm only mentioning it because, well, there's a lot happening in the Bored Ape ecosystem. So you may know that about a month ago or so, there was the other deed mint. So basically, you were able to mint land NFT, a bit of land in the upcoming other side metaverse. And you could only buy it, or you could only mint it by spending ApeCoin. Now, on the 16th of July, there will be the first phase of the tech demo of the other side metaverse. So essentially, if you have one of those deeds, one of those NFTs, you will be able to participate in that demo. And there will be multiple stages of of this process. But if you already own a deed and if you will be active, you will be participating in those demos, then essentially you will be eligible for another deed. And I'm assuming that this next batch of deeds will still require you to spend something to mint them. So previously it was 305 ape coins to mint one deed. Personally, I expect it will be the same or similar for the second batch. So essentially, now that ApeCoin is relatively cheap, if we look at the price of ApeCoin, I mean, it hit something like $26 at some point. In fact, on a run up to the land mint. At the moment, it's pretty much at its all-time low or very close to it. So in my view, it's not a bad idea if you are involved, of course, in other side, and if you're planning to mint that, or you're hoping to get that other deed and mint it. I think it's not a bad idea to start stacking some ApeCoin now while it's cheap. So I bought a little bit of ApeCoin a couple of days ago. I'll be adding more to it, to my position over the coming weeks. Basically, I want to make sure that I have enough for at least the deed I want to mint, the land I want to mint, and potentially a little bit more. But that's my main reasoning behind it. Other than that, well, it still remains an altcoin and still remains a very risky project to invest in in the current market situation, essentially. Now, if we go back to this list of projects, like I said, I think at the moment it's too risky to invest in any of them, but I think it's really important to create a list like this for yourself and essentially have a number of projects you are tracking and you are prepared to invest in once the market turns. I would expect essentially that, or what I mean by once the market turns is essentially Bitcoin bottoming out, probably in low 20s, and slow but clear sign of the move to the upside. I expect this still to take another few weeks, if not months. Probably most of the summer will be just sort of bouncing up and down. Certainly anything below 40K is still just bouncing in that 20 to 40K territory. Even if we do go up to Bitcoin's bull market support band, which is currently something like, I think just under 40K, 39, yeah, just over 39. Even if we hit this level, I think at the moment we still have around 10,000 to go to get to that level, which in the current market is a bit of a tall order. But even if it happens, well, we have to make sure that we actually stay above it rather than we experience situations similar to this when we briefly went above the bull market band and then crashed below and then, properly crashed. So yeah, I think the main thing at the moment is to just put a list of projects you're bullish on and track those projects and basically prepare yourself for a good entry point. I'm still bullish on all the projects on my list, but the projects I'm mainly looking at are projects which essentially I feel they have very, very strong fundamentals to perform really well in the next bull run. And these will be the projects I'll be investing in first before it's very, very clear that the bull market is on. Because like I just mentioned, we are not sure whether bull market is back on until Bitcoin goes back above its bull market support band, and then it tests as support, and then the prices keep going up. However, once this happens, a lot of those prices will already start going up quite a bit because essentially everyone will be feeling quite confident that, okay, the bull market is back on, it's now safe to invest in those projects. So we'll miss out on that initial pump that happens when the market is still very, very uncertain. But at the same time, until it's confirmed that the bull market is back on, it's extremely risky, of course, to put money in any altcoins. So I will be very picky when it comes to the altcoins I'll be investing in first until we get that confirmation that the bull market is back on. So which projects I think are reasonably safe and why do I think that they are reasonably safe? Again, not to invest in now, but once the market bottoms out. Well, I've mentioned ApeCoin. I'm extremely bullish on the whole Bored Ape ecosystem. But the only downside with this project is that it's a large market cap project, right? Even if it goes down lower than that, well, it will still remain, I would imagine, well above $1 billion, even if it goes slightly below. It's not exactly something that will go up 50 or 100 times up in price. It can do, I don't know, 5x, 10x, maybe even more, depending how low it will go and depending how high the next bull market will go. But probably not much more beyond it, purely because of its current market cap. Other projects which I think are reasonably safe ones to go for are Vulcan Forge. It's a huge project. They're extremely active, and that's one of the things I'm looking at in the bear market, because you will see this with a lot of projects. You will see it with a lot of influencers in the crypto space. When the market is pumping, everyone is doing something. Everyone's really active. Everyone's putting out content. Once the market goes bear, a lot of people, a lot of projects just disappear, or they will occasionally post some update, but that's about it. Vulcan Forge, they're constantly working on something. They're constantly doing stuff. They're constantly posting updates. I think they will do really, really well, assuming that they will keep up this momentum throughout the bear market. Superfarm, I'm pretty bullish on, largely because of, well, a really strong backing. It's Elliott Trade's project, and it has backing from Alex Becker, so two really big crypto gaming influencers. So I don't see how this can do bad once the crypto gaming bull market is on. And by the way, I still firmly believe that the next bull market will be largely focused on gaming and metaverse concept overall. I think that will be the main driving force behind it. That combined with increasing utility. So that's why I'm still looking mainly at gaming projects. Another one I really like is CDFI Fund. It's the biggest crypto gaming launchpad. It did incredibly well in the past. I mean, at the moment, it's down to less than 1/10 of its all-time high. It was, I think, around $16 or $17 at some point. And basically, of course, there's always a risk that there may be new launchpad coming up that will do better than CDFI. I mean, Communitas is another launchpad, for example, much smaller, but still. But nonetheless, if they continue being one of the main launchpad when it comes to crypto gaming projects, well, that's a reason for them to do really, really well in the next bull run. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't go back to its previous all-time high, or in fact, even much higher than that. So that's why I'm bullish on it. Also, the price is back down to where it was. Well, you can see that it's nowhere near its all-time low, but that was the pump when pretty much everyone started talking about it, sort of September last year, when the price was oscillating between $3 and $4. I got into this project and started talking about it when it was around $3. Then a lot of people were complaining that it's too expensive to participate in this launchpad because it would take, well, you need 1,000 S-Fund tokens to have guaranteed allocation, and that would cost you like $5,000 or $8,000 or then more to do it. So people were like, well, there's no point doing that. But there was a point in the summer last year when the price was oscillating between 50 cents and $1. And to be honest, we're not far off those levels. So not only this is likely to be a project that will perform really well in the next bull market, but also it's getting to the prices where it is actually quite attractive to purchase it purely so you can participate in the new IGOs. And also you can stake as fund token. And if you lock it for like 60 days, yeah. So essentially, if you lock it for 2 months, you're getting 55% APY paid out in S-Fund. So this way you can also keep increasing your position in S-Fund token. So then by the time the next bull market is on, you may be actually eligible for a higher tier, or you may just need to buy a little bit more tokens and then you are eligible for a higher tier. So yeah, I think overall it has a chance to do really, really well. If we go back to the list, Veracity is another one I'm massively bullish on. Essentially, it's a project that does a few different things, but one of the most important ones is that it ensures that the money you spend on advertising on, let's say, YouTube, actually is spent on advertising to your target audience rather than, let's say, bots. And I think it's a technology that has a lot of potential because it solves a real problem, right? It helps businesses save money on their advertising costs. So if it does well, if the technology works well, and if they gain more traction, I think they have a potential to do really, really well in the next bull run. So the things I'm essentially looking for when it comes to selecting which projects should be quote unquote the safest to invest in early is things like, what's the potential for it to go higher up in the next bull run? What are the project fundamentals essentially? Why I expect it to go higher up in the next bull run? I mean, of course, there are plenty of decent games on this list which can potentially do really well, but they may do well or not, while there are other projects which sort of proven themselves already, if that makes sense, or at least to a certain degree, or they solve problem, or they are part of a big ecosystem like ApeCoin, or essentially there is something there, something very specific, something very solid that makes me think that, okay, well, this should do well. There's a higher chance that this project will do well rather than some other ones. Another one I want to mention is D-Race. Okay, that's a game. It's not necessarily something I would usually mention in this list, but the reason why I'm mentioning it is because I think a lot of early gaming projects, successful early gaming projects, will be around mobile gaming and gambling. And well, this project fits the bill, so I think that's why it's worth mentioning it. And then, of course, we have a whole list of NFTs which are worth considering. Something like Neo Tokyo, which is massively undervalued at the moment. And also, if it remains true that next bull run will be all about gaming and metaverse, well, it's the kind of project you want to be in. It's the kind of community you want to be in. Dogepound, one of the biggest brands in NFTs, again, massively undervalued. They diluted their mission a bit recently, which I think is part of the issue why the price went down, but I think they will still do really, really well in the future. I've mentioned already other side. Again, the price is not bad at all at the moment to enter this project. And from, like I said, from the 16th of July, you will be able to participate in the tech demo. So, I mean, it's not the cheapest project to get into, but I think it will be well worth participating in it. And then, I mean, even something like Mutant Ape Yacht Club, okay, it's expensive. Floor price is above 16 ETH at the moment, but it keeps coming down. And also ETH is relatively cheap at the moment in dollar value. And well, everyone knows that the whole Bored Ape ecosystem is by far the most recognized, the most valuable in the whole NFT space. So if this price continues going down, this may actually be one of the better long-term investments. Of course, expensive ones, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on it. So that's the main thing I wanted to really talk about. It's the fact that during next weeks and months, a lot of people will exit this space. A lot of people already exited because they either got bored with crypto because they were expecting for quick gains, or they're depressed about the whole situation, or they lost a lot of money, or they lost trust in it, and so on. And yeah, I know the current situation sucks. My portfolio is not exactly in the best position at the moment, but I think it is absolutely crucial to stick around during those times and essentially learn more about the space, learn about projects, and try to find projects which will do really, really well in the next bull run. A lot of people were buying, let's say, ADA, Cardano, at, I don't know, between 50 cents and $1 and above $1. But if you stick out during the bear market, which I missed out on last time, you could quite easily get Cardano for like 3 cents or 5 cents. So basically you could already do a solid 10x or more before everyone actually started talking about it and investing in it. And that's the key takeaway here, that basically you have to, in order to really, really take the biggest advantage of the next bull run, you have to be really early, and you have to know which products you need to get in when it's still essentially quite risky. But the only way to do it is by staying active in this space, by essentially keeping an eye on what's going on over the next months rather than forgetting about it, as I did in the previous bull run, and then coming back to it at basically a bit too late, when there is still, of course, great opportunity to make profits, but there will be nowhere near as big as if you remain active throughout that whole period. So I hope it all makes sense. If you do have any questions, please put them in the comment section. If you would like to continue the discussion, please join my Discord, and I'm there every day, so I'm more than happy to, of course, answer any questions you may have. And as always, if you like this content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.